if you're looking to get started with roller skating in 2026, I've spent thousands on roller skates, so I know exactly what works and exactly what doesn't, and I can recommend something for you. And after 15 years, here's my recommendations. I actually don't have my very first ever roller skates, and that's because I started my roller skate life as a roller derby player, and the boots were flat. And when I say flat, they were not heeled and they were quite wide in the toe box. And actually, I bought the wrong size. And I don't want that for you, because when you buy skates that are the wrong size, your foot is going to slide around very slightly in them. And you end up with, this is going to sound disgusting, build-up of skin at the ball of your foot, on the big toe, around your little toes. You might end up with a lot of cramp, and you might find that the arch of your foot, especially if you've got a high instep, is not supported. You might also find that your heel slides out of the back of your skate, and essentially it's just not giving you support where you need it. Now, that's something that you might not need initially, because I think that the first thing you need is comfort. If your skates are not comfortable, you're not even going to want to put them on. If they pinch and hurt you, every time you want to start roller skating, you're going to think, oh, but I've got to get through that first bit of pain. Now, unless you're buying something that is soft suede or a soft microfiber, vinyl skates and firm leather boots will always take some breaking in. So you do have to factor in a discomfort period, and it's going to be fine. Okay, it's going to be fine. You just need to wear your skates at home, allow them to break in. If you're like me, if you're Gen X and you had leather shoes, it is a bit of a throwback to breaking in those school shoes, but I promise you that you will be okay. So wear them at home, wear them on carpet, wear them to watch TV, and then you'll find that you are kind of hopping around, not hopping, just walking around on your carpet and getting used to the feel of being on trucks, especially if you are coming back to roller skating after a long, long break. Okay, so what about my skates? Well, I have I brought my, yes. So I've had a number of pairs of these Moxi Jack boots. This is one of my more recent pairs, but I've had 4 pairs of these now. I think this is another pair. So my first pair looked like this. They were jade. I actually had a Moxi Lolly first of all, which currently I think was £300 when I bought it, and it's $350 now. I think in over a decade. That's not terrible in terms of inflation. This video is brought to you by us, the Skate Sanctuary, a place for developing your confidence and self-belief through roller skating. But the Moxi Jack boot was the next level up. So there's a lot more support in the ankle, but even now there are lots of people who say this doesn't offer them enough support. It does for me. I really love this boot. So there's some support in the ankle, there's plenty of support around the heel. It's nice and stiff. There's a big heel cup in there, and there is support in the toe. Okay, and the edges of the skate up here. There's additional support and padding on the inside that's really difficult to show you on camera. And this is why when we do skate fittings, we do always say to people, you've got to put your foot in, because you'll be able to feel the padding and feel the support that more expensive models of skate offer. But this isn't where you need to start. Okay, because these plates that I've got on here, this is the Arius plate. So I'm going to talk about how much the retail is now of this skate. So we've got Moxi Jack boot. This is a custom color, so this would be £550, 549. We've got an Arius plate, which is currently 300, maybe it's 489 pounds. So this boot build, and then with a little toe stop, that's about 30 quid. Wheels that are 60 for the full set, and that's across my pair of boots. We're talking about a good £900 worth of roller skates, really, aren't we? Getting on for £1,000 worth of roller skates. So this pair is about £1,000, and that's because the boot and the plate, the boot being a custom color and the plate are the expensive pieces. Then I decided that I needed to have a Rydell 336. Okay, this is the leather version of the Jack boot. And I thought, do you know what? I think I need a slightly stiffer boot. So I'm going to try a leather boot for the first time, see what all the fuss is about. Because I started my roller skate journey in a low cut skate, a hockey boot for roller derby, I thought I don't really need like this high, the protectiveness of this high ankle. Um, Maybe I quite like it, and I really like the heel now. But actually, when I fasten my laces, I only usually go up to one or two of the hooks. I don't fasten my laces all the way to the top. So I decided that I would get my 336 boot half a size shorter, but I would go for a wider width. And when I got it, it was so much stiffer than my suede boot. I was really quite shocked and a little bit worried, if I'm honest with you, a little bit worried that it was going to take me a really long time to break it in. So I very excitedly put this shiny oil slick dancer plate on. Okay, really love this. So the boot, by the way, is in the region of £800, maybe £900. And they Rydell now refuse to put metallic leather on the tongue as well because it does just wear away. Now I actually quite like the wear. I don't mind this at all, but they won't do it now. So they will put it on the backstay. Yeah, so this is a custom boot, and the plate is £380. And then the wheels, these are complex Ghibli wheels, these are 75. And then we've got Bones Reds bearings in these wheels, which are only about 40 quid. So this boot, all in all, is upwards of £1,000. It's around maybe 1,200, £1,300 all in all. It is the most expensive thing I think I own, aside from like my car. But in terms of possessions, I don't have anything that's more expensive than these boots. But it has got still the same lining in the tongue. And I know this boot, I'm not going to have to buy another one of these ever because I do have the luxury as a skate shop owner of having more than one pair of boots, and I built my collection over more than a decade. I can use these for roller dance when the mood strikes me and I feel like I need that level of precision. But honestly, still most of the time I choose comfort. So I love these boots, and these are maybe my 5-year-old Moxi Jack boots. So I've got another pair of Moxi Jack boots. They're on a Pilot Falcon plate, which is £250. They are not a custom colour. They are pink, so £350, and the 250, so that's about 600. And then they've got Fun Day wheels, Moxi Fun Day wheels, because they're a skate park build, which is about another 100. And then they've got a little wild bone slider, which is about another £100. So they're still about an £800 boot that I use for the skate park. But I know how the boot fits, I know how the boot feels. The plate wasn't new when I put it on there. I took it off another skate and put it onto this one because I had a Beach Bunny for a while. And the Beach Bunny is our entry level Moxi roller skate into the Moxi brand, the Moxi family. And that boot, it's a vinyl boot. I really hated it at first because it was not comfortable like suede, and I had that boot before I had this one, so I was not used to breaking in a vinyl, and I found it really uncomfortable, and I would wear it as long as I could, which was maybe 3/4 of an hour to an hour at class, and then I would take it off and I would put on my suede boot so that my feet could rest. Otherwise I was like, I can't skate anymore. And I did the same with this leather boot. I would take this somewhere and I would take my comfortable skates with me as well, so that I knew when I started thinking about my feet and it carried on hurting, I could actually just swap it out. So that's 3 pairs of boots. That's not all of the boots in my lifetime. That's my current pairs of boots. Then I've also got WIFA. So this is the WIFA Street Suede, because we sell an awful lot of these, and I really want to know how this breaks down and how it performs. And the first pair that I had from WIFA that they sent us, which was when we first became a stockist back in 2022, maybe it was 2021. Anyway, we were the first stockist of WIFA in the UK, and they're just a really nice brand to work with. So they sent me a boot. It was very slightly too big, which was a shame, so I didn't keep it. It ended up being a sample and it went to one of our coaches. So I now have the right size, and I put this boot on an Avenger plate because the Avenger is one that I was really curious to try. It gets compared quite a lot to this, the Arius plate, as being a 45-degree angle truck. So I thought, well, let me give it a try. It's much heavier than the Arius plate, but the boot is really light. So overall, it's like not too dissimilar. The structure of this boot is a little bit lighter, but the quality is stunning. Like, this is a really beautiful boot. Again, we've got my favorite complex Ghibli wheels on here. So all in all, this boot is about £200. It's 195 for the boot. And then the plate is about 200. So that is just under £400. The wheels are 75, and these bearings happen to be quite good ones. They are Swiss bearings, so they're about £70 for a full set. It might be more, I can't remember. They've been in for a really long time. So we're still looking at around a £500 boot, right? And the cost of the boot is mainly the plate with a WIFA boot, because we can bring this whole build in for more like 350, but it's gone to 500 and a little bit more because the plate is metal. So £200 is really the cheapest kind of plate that you're going to get at that level. So why am I telling you all of this? Am I just bragging about all of the amazing roller skate boots that I have? And then there's this boot here as well. This is another Jack boot. It's a stock discontinued color, and I couldn't pass it up. It's too pretty. And it's got luminous wheels on. The wheels are about 60. This plate was just a trial sample that we had. I think that's only about 50 quid. So we're looking at about 100, 110 in the wheels, maybe 150 if you include the bearings, which are £40. And then the boot is 350. So we're like 350, 450, still about 500 quid's worth of boot, right? So £500 worth of skate, another five, so that's 1,000. This one is about 1,000 because of the plate and the custom color boot, and this one is well over 1,000. So when I'm saying, and then I've got my park skate. Previously, I've also had a Moxi Lolly, which was around £300. I've had a custom flaneurs, which was a boot that we click on, and I've had Slades, which was the ready-to-wear version. I had my first ever Moxi Jack boot, and I've had the Neo plate, which was a Powerdyne plate. I'm trying to think what else. I've had a roll line plate. So when I say I've had and tested thousands of pounds worth of products to find out what I like, and that's not counting the wheels, right? The wheel collection is unbelievable. And you ask a roller skater who's been skating more than three years, they've started amassing wheels. You know they have. And if you are that person, you comment below and tell me, what is your wheel collection consisting of? Where do you keep it? And what are your favorites? Or does it depend on what you do? Because I love, love, love the complex Ghibli wheels in a 93A. I've decided they're a little bit firmer than the 88s that I truly love, but I'm ready for a little tiny bit more slip now in the 93s. And I also adore luminous wheels. I use them for going everywhere. And if I'm in the skate park, then the Moxi Fun Days are my absolute favorite. For me, there isn't really one wheel that does everything. I do find that I prefer a specific wheel for a specific task. If I'm feeling lazy, or I know I'm not going too far, or I want to go across different terrains and do different things, I'll probably just use luminous. If I know I'm doing distance, particularly outside and particularly in the summer, I will put big ones on. And I had the Airwaves wheels, which are a very affordable wheel at just over 50 quid for a full set of 8 at the end of the summer. They are great, right? They're a large wheel. Other large wheels exist. I also really adore the Chaya Neons because they're big and they light up. And it's not just a thing for light up wheels, there is an element of safety there as well. So in all of those skates, this is still the one that we recommend the most. Now, I was not a beginner roller skater when I first set up the business. I was beyond that point, and my experience of roller skating had obviously been very much shaped by people that I met and the type of skating that I'd done. But I knew we needed a heeled boot because this does lift you more onto the ball of your feet. And I think it just looks kind of stylish. It looks pretty classic and I like the look of it. Okay. It's quite simple and that's something that I really enjoy. I also really enjoyed that with this particular boot, the bottom, the plate has been built correctly. There's a full set of cushions and the cushions are not recessed into the plate, which does affect how much the skate can turn. So that was something that was important to me. So what did we do? We saved up and got a bunch of pairs of rookie artistic roller skates, with very much the idea being that people would come to class, they could wear their skates, they'd know exactly what size they were, they knew how the boot felt, they knew how it performed, and then they could get one. They could get their own. So it worked quite well until we hit 2020 and all skates everywhere ran out, including these, which were not, they were not in production. So it wasn't even that Rookie could get more. There was an issue with their factory, their production line, and they actually couldn't get more. So they had to completely source a new factory, a new manufacturer. They are made in China. And then they had to go through like a full testing process and research and development phase with a brand new skate. And part of it was they were trying to keep the cost down as much as possible so that it didn't have to, like, you know, cost of inflation and stuff and the cost of living, that it would have risen to maybe double its original price. They didn't want to do that. So they figured out ways to keep it as affordable as possible without massively compromising on the quality. And I think they've still done a really good job. We still really like Rookie as a brand. They're based in Bristol in the UK. And they are a stiff vinyl boot when you first get them. But because we have got existing Rookie skates and they are, some of them are 5 or 6 years old, they are pliable. Like the top of them here is really very soft. It's it just molds to the wearer's foot. So somebody puts them on and goes, oh, these are lovely, they're really comfortable. It's just like buying a pair of worn in Doc Martens or something like that because someone else has done the breaking in for you. These are still just too new. Not enough people have worn them for that break-in process to have happened yet. So we just try and wear them a little bit each time we're here and help that break-in process on the way. These ones are also donated to us via a giveaway, which is why they've got a special drawing on them, because one of our customers who actually won the giveaway said she didn't need another pair of skates and she donated them to us because we are a not-for-profit company. So we are very much appreciative of that. So how much is this pair of skates? Retail, they are £109.95. And you do not have to think, what boot do I need? What plate do I need? By the way, this is a metal plate. What wheels do I need? What toe stop do I need? We have done that thinking for you. There are definitely other entry-level skates that exist, but you might think, do you know what? They look more exciting for me. That's a cuter color. I really like that. What you don't know is that we've had quite a lot of those skates in. I've been to our distributors, I've been to the suppliers, we've bought in the samples over the last few years, and we've not liked them. And often it's because if we can't get a full run of sizes in a product, like up to a UK 12, then I don't feel that's particularly size inclusive. So adult sizes start at a UK 3, and I really want them to go to a 12, ideally bigger, ideally a 13. But it's really difficult to source skates beyond a size 12 in the UK. So we might have to import them, and that's okay. We can do that too. But they represent really good value, and we know they're really hard wearing. Yes, they are going to feel a little bit snug at first because they're a vinyl skate and they will feel like that. And they are reminiscent for me of this leather skate, which I know is a very, very, very different price point, right? This is literally 10 times the cost of this. However, this will also last a lot longer. But as your first skate, we also know that as you come to do the upgrades, I'm sorry, this boot keeps sliding towards me. As you come to do your upgrades and you think, okay, what do I want to do? I want to change out my wheel. This plate will accept wheels of different sizes. With some of the cheaper branded skates, you cannot change that wheel for a different wheel. Okay, so really, when you're looking at customizing a boot and making it your own, as a vinyl boot, you can paint on it. We've got all the different kinds of paint so that you could come and do it here if you're local. You can draw on it, you can get Sharpies and draw on it. We've seen some really amazing creative things. You can change out the wheels. The toe stop is adjustable, which is again quite rare in an entry level boot. I've seen plenty of boots that are cost about the same, but they have a conical bolt on, bolt off toe stop only, which means you cannot adjust the height of this toe stop. Often, when people go outside and you're on rougher ground, you will want to adjust the toe stop lower so that you do not need to lift your heel as much and you know you're going to stop. Okay, and you can with this one. You can't with others. It's either on or you can take it off if you decide you want to dance. And as you gain more experience, you want to lift your heel higher. Obviously, you can swap the laces. That's really easy. You can put a toe guard on the front or a toe cap just to cover the nose of this skate and protect the vinyl for a little bit longer. So the other thing from us is you will also get access to our Foundation Accelerator online course, which contains all of the information that you need and probably a bit more that you probably won't watch, that will give you that really solid grounding on these are the skills you need. Everything is broken down to what do I need to do, because there are some videos online, I'm sorry, but there are, this is an absolute pet peeve of mine, where the creator will show you what to do, or they're just skating and they're calling it a tutorial video and there's no breakdown at all. It's just do this. And it might be they'll show you from one angle, maybe there's a voiceover, but often it's really, really difficult, particularly in short form content, to explain well how the breakdown of a move will go and exactly where the weight should be. If you're viewing that short form content and it's not the first time you've done that move, you already have some experience, then maybe that final piece of information that that creator shows you from their point of view might be just the chink that you need to help it drop into place. But if you have no experience, then that creator is not good for you. But what you don't know, you don't know. So it's not like you can even ask the question and find out, is this helpful for me or not? So how do you know? Well, you don't know. How do you know I'm any good? Well, you don't know. I can only tell you my credentials, which are I'm a qualified teacher of 20 years. I am also a roller skate coach. I'm also a life coach, and I have coached thousands of roller skaters locally in Leeds, across the world, in Barcelona, in Canada, in Europe, to make sure that they can become their most confident selves. So in my online video course, you will also get a section that is all about the troubleshooting. But Mel, what happens when this doesn't work? What do I do? Often you need to just give yourself more time. Just give yourself more time. Okay. So it will explain what to do though, and how to move on from whatever skill it is that you're trying to work with. So if you choose these skates, you're also going to get our online course, which is currently on sale at £40, $39.99 for free, because we want you to have the best possible start. So £109 gets you £150 worth of value, because you're going to get an amazing skate. Oh, and also we're going to chuck a skate strap into the box, because we know the best way to meet people is to carry your roller skates around over your shoulder, and a skate strap allows you to do exactly that. So we're going to pop a coloured skate strap into the box for you, just as a little surprise and a thank you from us for supporting us. But I don't want you to have to spend thousands or even hundreds of pounds to realise that you've bought the wrong skate. Rookie Artistics come in whole shoe sizes, whole UK shoe sizes. They do fit pretty typically true to size. If you know you have a wider foot, maybe you want to go bigger, but you will find that they are snug at first, they will loosen up, they will break in. At that point, you might need to add an extra inner sole. You might need to wear thicker socks, but they are a really solid choice for a first skate. You're never ever going to choose something perfect the first time, because perfect for anybody at any time is essentially always custom. And that's really difficult to get with your first roller skate. What's way more important is that you get a pair, they pretty much fit, you've got your safety gear, you get out there and you have a go and keep going even when it's hard. So you totally got this. I believe in you. Get out there, get skating. If you enjoyed this video, then you probably also enjoy this video over here.